All right, I'm back, baby. Oh shit, I'm back. I'm back outside too. Well, it's still reasonably. I wouldn't say hot because it's definitely not hot, but it's an acceptable temperature to be filming outside. Today I want to speak about something. Not. It's not gonna be a long video. Basically, that's time price versus money price. So a lot of times when we think of the cost of something, we think of what the price it's going to cost us monetarily. If something costs $500, so we're going to have to take $500 out of our pocket and give it away to obtain something. That's it's not exactly a there's that price, obviously. Of course, there's that price when we're talking about material things. But one thing we shouldn't forget, and that a lot of people don't account for, is the time price of things. So what I'm speaking about is basically, and I'm speaking about material things mostly, for material things, is that every time you buy something new, of course you're gonna have to pay for it with your money, but you're also gonna have to pay for it with your time. And that's because anything you buy, you're gonna have to spend. You don't have to, but if you're buying something, you're gonna be spending time with that thing. And of course, it seems obvious, like, oh yeah, of course, if I'm buying something, I'm gonna use it. But we don't really think about it like that. We don't think about, like, when we buy something, that everything we buy takes time away from us. So, when for people who are like, maybe accumulating a bit of wealth and money. Oh my goodness. All right, this is not what I expected. Something is happening right now, and I'm not certain about what's happening. Congratulations. All right, we got a little impromptu walkthrough. Damn. All right. All right. So let me get my train of thought back. So what I was speaking about, money price versus time price. So we just have to understand that everything we do is going to require time, and it's going to take time away from us. Everything that we purchase, and it's important to think about these things. It's important to think about these things for people who are like trying to focus in on a goal. For example, like me, I want to be able to make um, whatever. Actually, you know what? Forget about my goals. My goals are unimportant in this. So basically, you just want to think about the time that it takes, that's taken away from you every time um, every time you're buying new things and purchasing new things. Especially if you're someone who's, somewhat focused and looking to accomplish certain things. Yeah, then you definitely want to stay focused. Stay more focused than I'm staying right now, let's just say. Um, but yeah, so what has been intriguing me has been the minimalism kind of movement and that whole thing recently. I've been liking that quite a bit, just because it's basically less distractions. The less distractions you have, the more time you have. The more time you have, the more you can focus on what you want to accomplish. So if you're really like, one good way I see of spending money, if you have like money to spend, which like I said, you don't have to spend money, but I mean, if you have money to spend, and you know, I see it, I see it as a better thing of buying exactly what you need, but high quality versions of that thing, than going out and buying a whole bunch of different shit that you may or may not need. Probably don't. Most of us don't need that many things. And for me, I'm coming from an artist standpoint, which a lot of times artists are not necessarily the most organized people, they might be organized in their head, but to the outside, not necessarily organized when it comes to like workspaces and stuff like that. So, no, I do get that there is a certain balance, and that balance is going to be different for everybody. Of like, because I know a lot of artists, for example, like me or anyone else, you go to a music producer's place. He's got a bunch of random percussion shit laying around. He's got instruments all over the place that he may or may not use, but it's kind of like a quick source of inspiration to have things at hand. So I do understand that is, depending on what you do, uh, this is going to change a little bit. Like the balance is going to change, and the balance for everything is going to change. There's really not many things you can say. This is right. This is wrong. Everybody has their own. I guess you could say their optimal way, individually. Um, so yeah, it's just about thinking about the time that the things we buy take away from us, and how much time we want to allow them to take away from us. For example, I was I like video games and stuff. I don't play that many video games, but I like them. I used to play a lot when I was a kid, and it's something that I still do, like on a pretty regular basis. But I'm not like playing for hours like I used to. But every now and then, there's like a game that pops up I want to buy or whatever, and a lot of times I just don't buy because I realize, like, yeah, I want to buy it, and yeah, I'll probably have fun, but it's also going to take away from time that I could be spending on this or on that. And most of us don't have that much time in excess. Like, we don't have like just time to throw away over here and like just do whatever we want with it. If you're young, maybe you do, but as you get older, you'll see that your time is more and more and more precious. It gets more and more precious because you just get naturally more busy. You have more responsibilities and stuff like that. So yeah, just about keeping that in mind. Um, like it might seem obvious that if we're gonna buy something, we're gonna use it. Therefore, it's gonna take time, but we just don't think about the time that it takes away from us. We don't. Every time we think about a cost, we think about, oh yeah, it's gonna cost us whatever, this amount or this amount. Like the whole video game example I'm talking about, the price doesn't really matter whether the game is $20 or $80, whatever. I don't. To be honest, I wouldn't really care that much. Like even if I spend $80, it's not like I'm gonna die here. The price, the money price for me isn't what concerns me. It's the time price that concerns me for these things, because I know that it's something I'm gonna spend time on, and it's not really gonna give me any kind of return. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to. I don't think I have that much else to say. Um, and also maybe I just want to add one thing is that I don't think that everything that doesn't have to do with your focus goal or whatever at the time should be avoided or like eliminated out your life, because there is definitely time. I think everybody should have leisure time and should have time to just do whatever the fuck they want without having to think about the end goal and all that. So we got the grooms now. I was not expecting a whole wedding run to happen in front of my camera today, but that's pretty funny. um, so yeah, it's just about paying attention to the things we buy, and of course there's the money price that everybody thinks of, but the time price, the time that those things will take away from us, and if we're really willing to spend that time, are we really to spend that time for maybe this form of entertainment, or it's like if you go out and buy a boat. If you go out and buy a boat, of course it's gonna be expensive. But if you're balling, whatever, you buy a boat, it doesn't affect your money too much in a negative way. You're fine. But it's gonna take away a lot of your time, which may be business time and other things where you're making your money. So you need to understand that these things, they take. Of course, there's the financial aspect behind it, but there's always gonna be the time aspect behind it. So it's just about knowing these things and paying attention to the things that we decide to purchase, because those things will take away from something else. Everything is give and take in this world. You really can't have everything. Every time you do something, there's a reaction to that thing. So every time we purchase something that we're gonna use, I mean, And if you don't use it, you're not spending time, but you're spending money for no reason. So it's not a better thing. If you're buying something you're going to use your time. So just I think I've repeated this so many times at this point. I think you guys get the point. And yeah, that was my video for today. This is Bastiani. I'm a music producer, and I am out till next time. Peace.